Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so glad you're here with us today because we are diving into a topic that I know, deep down, weighs on the heart of every parent from New York to Los Angeles. Have you ever walked down the toy aisle at a Target in Chicago, or maybe scrolled through your social media feed in Houston and felt that sudden, sharp pang of anxiety? You see the flashcards, the Genius tablets, the apps that promise to have your 2-year-old reading Shakespeare before they can even tie their own shoes. It is overwhelming, isn't it? We are told constantly that if we don't start the academic grind early, if we don't drill those ABCs and 1, 2, 3s into their little heads by age 3, they'll somehow fall behind. But today, I want you to take a deep breath, just let it out. Because the truth, backed by decades of neuroscience from places like Harvard and Stanford, is actually much more beautiful and much more natural than a stack of flashcards. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s do not make smart kids, period. They are just the decorations on a house. But before you can decorate, you have to build the foundation, the frame, and the electrical wiring. If the foundation is weak, it doesn't matter how many ABC stickers you put on the walls, the structure won't hold. Today, we are going to talk about the 3 core principles that actually build that foundation before age 5. These are the neural connections that everything else gets built on: motor skills, critical thinking, emotional regulation, and yes, eventually, academic learning. And the best part? You don't need a single expensive toy or a subscription to a brain-building app to do this. You already have everything you need, right there in your living room in Miami or your backyard in Seattle. Let's jump into our first principle, something researchers call serve and return. Now, think about a tennis match or a game of catch in a park in Central Park. One person hits the ball, the serve, and the other person hits it back, the return. This is exactly how brain development works, but instead of a ball, it's an interaction. Imagine you're in the kitchen, maybe you're making some coffee, and your toddler, let's call him Michael, points at a bright red apple on the counter and goes, "Bah!" That is a serve. Michael is reaching out. He's curious. He's inviting you into his world. Now, you have a choice. You could ignore it, or you could return the serve. You look at him, you smile, and you say, "Yes, Michael, that is a red apple. It's round and crunchy. Do you want to touch it?" That right there, that tiny 5-second moment, is a neurological explosion. When you return that serve, synapses in Michael's brain are firing and wiring together. You are literally building the architecture of his prefrontal cortex. You're teaching him that his voice matters, that communication works, and that the world is a predictable, responsive place. We often think we need to be a teacher, standing over them with a clipboard. But your child doesn't need a professor. They need a partner. They need someone to notice what they're noticing. If they look at a dog on the street in Brooklyn, you look at the dog. If they babble, you babble back. It's about being present in the small gaps of your day. It's not about extra time. It's about the quality of the response in the time you already have. Now, let's talk about the second principle. And this one is a bit of a tough pill to swallow in our digital age. It is the vital importance of active, hands-on play versus passive screens. I know. The iPad is the best babysitter ever invented when you're trying to cook dinner or finish a Zoom call in Los Angeles. But we have to understand the neural cost of those screens. When a child swipes a finger across a piece of glass, they are getting a massive hit of dopamine, but they are gaining almost 0 sensory feedback. The brain of a child under 5 is hungry for the physical world. It needs to feel the weight of a wooden block, the grittiness of sand in a sandbox in a Chicago playground, the coldness of an ice cube. When a child builds a tower out of real blocks, they are learning physics. They are learning about gravity, balance, spatial awareness, and fine motor control. When they fail and the tower falls, they are learning problem solving. Why did it fall? Oh, the big block should go on the bottom. An app can't teach that. An app just gives a sparkle effect and a ding sound, which actually bypasses the thinking part of the brain and goes straight to the reward center. This is why kids get so cranky when you take the tablet away. Their brains are literally coming down from a chemical high. To build a smart kid, we need to be their play partner. Get down on the floor, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Let them lead the way. If they want to pretend the cardboard box from your Amazon delivery is a spaceship flying over the Florida Keys, get in the box with them. That imaginative play is developing the executive function skills they will need for the rest of their lives. Our third principle is perhaps the most important, but it's often the most misunderstood. It's about emotional regulation and the growth mindset. And I want to start with a warning. Be careful with the words, "You're so clever," or "You're so smart." I know it sounds crazy. Why wouldn't we want to tell our kids they're smart? But research by Dweck at Stanford has shown that when we praise a child's innate ability, like their intelligence, we actually make them more afraid of failing. If Sarah thinks she is smart because she finished a puzzle, the moment she hits a puzzle she can't do, she thinks, "Oh, I guess I'm not smart anymore," and she gives up. Instead, we need to praise the process. Use words like, "I saw how hard you worked on that," or "You didn't give up, even when it was tricky," or "Look at how you use those different colors to make the sky." This builds a growth mindset. It teaches the brain that effort is the key to success, not some fixed trait they were born with. This is the foundation of resilience, and in a fast-paced world, resilience is much more valuable than knowing the alphabet at age 2. Along with this comes the concept of stress. We need to distinguish between healthy stress, like the frustration of learning to tie a shoe, and toxic stress. Toxic stress happens when a child feels unsafe or unsupported for long periods, and it can actually damage the developing brain. The antidote to toxic stress is co-regulation. It's the predictable routines you set up in your home in Philadelphia. It's the way you stay calm when they are having a meltdown over a broken crayon. I know, it is so hard to stay calm in those moments. But when you hold them, and you breathe with them, and you say, "I can see you are really frustrated right now, and that's okay," you are teaching their nervous system how to settle. You are lending them your calm until they can build their own. That, my friends, is the ultimate brain-building exercise. An emotionally regulated child is a child who is ready to learn. You can't teach a child math if their brain is stuck in survival mode because they don't know how to handle their big feelings. So, let's recap these 3 powerful principles. 1. Serve and return. Respond to their babbles, their gestures, and their questions. 2. Active play. Choose blocks and dirt and imagination over screens whenever possible. And 3. Growth mindset and co-regulation. Praise their effort and be their calm in the storm. Do you see the pattern here? None of this costs money. None of it requires a PhD in education. It's all about the relationship. The human brain is a social organ. It grows best in the light of your attention, not the blue light of a screen. I want to leave you with a little challenge. Today, when you see your child doing something small, maybe they're just staring at a ladybug in the grass, or they're trying to put their own socks on, don't rush them. Don't pull out your phone to take a picture for Instagram. Just join them. Return their serve. Describe what they are doing. Celebrate the struggle of those socks. This is how you build a genius, not by memorizing facts, but by nurturing a curious, resilient, and connected human being. You are doing an amazing job. Parenting is the hardest work in the world, but you have already got the tools. Trust your instincts, put down the flashcards, and just play. Thank you so much for listening today. From my home to yours, keep building those foundations, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.